feeling today? We get up on a bad start today. What's up with you?
We're not on a bad start.
Hey, look,
It
now.
was just miscommunication.
Trying to tell Ghost what to do.
It was miscommunication. I didn't think.
Yeah, we're going to get the right communication, but it is an honor to meet you. You look
Ocean,
happy.
Haley Ocean.
You look happy. Are you happy?
I mean,
How you feel
somewhat.
today? Maybe that's what's going on.
Here and there, I'm good. I mean, there's
Anybody-
ups and downs.
Anybody ask how you feel today?
No. They never ask me how I feel.
I'm asking you.
I feel okay. I mean, there's ups and downs of every day.
Right.
There's ups and downs to being in the streets every day. Trust and believe that. Especially at 20 years old, almost 21.
Oh, how old are you?
I'm 20. I'll be 21 on May 21st. I've been out here since I was 18.
On the streets?
I was 18 when I first came to North Carolina, which it wasn't but a year and a half, if a year and a half ago.
Where you from?
Ohio.
See, like every young white person that
You're
female
talking
like
about
me,
Kaylee or Kylie?
and I just heard, her,
I just seen your
Samantha,
video. See, I just
um,
seen when I seen your video you did with Crazy K. I thought you were talking about me because
No,
the
it's my
story.
Kylie.
I know, but the story was going along the lines of something that I had dealt with Crazy K. And
Oh, so you know him too?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know him, but yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to talk too much about Crazy K.
I don't either because I don't want to start nothing with him. I already had shit going with him.
Cause she talk about him so much, and then I fuck with bro. I like bro a little bit. Then
I get along with Crazy K for the most part. It's just there's some things that happen that fuck shit up, and I don't want to risk to put myself in more because of the fact that shit doesn't happen.
They say everybody talk about Crazy K. It gotta be some type of shit involved.
Well,
I swear.
he did.
It is what it is.
I don't have fun for a reason.
Right, I get it. But then you the second youngest person I've ever interviewed. It's the youngest girl. Her name is Chantel. She's mixed female. She's 18. And then there's you. And then there's Molly. And then there's Kyle.
There was 18-year-olds or 19-year-olds I thought you dealt with too.
The one girl, she's 18.
Oh, I thought there's other girls out here younger than me. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, I know. But
but
I ain't met them all yet.
Yeah, I know.
But 20 years old.
Yeah.
Started when you were 18. I hear on your journey. How you end up out here?
So when I was in Ohio, I grew up in foster care. So when I was in Ohio and turned 18, my mom wouldn't let me live with her, even though
Open this door because she said she's hot.
her electric's in my
You want
name.
something want something cold to drink?
No, I'm straight for now. Her electric's in my name. It has been since I turned 18 because she had no one else to put her electric in their name for. Nobody would allow it, and they had electric. So I told her, "Yeah, Mom, I don't care. Just don't ruin my credit. Don't miss payments, shit like that."
Right.
And I was in a relationship that he me out and picked I was foster sisters with this girl. I still look to her as a sister, but he picked her over me. Well, tried to add her to the relationship, and I was going to college, going to college, coming back, taking care of pretty well everything at 18 years old. So and he's in his 30s, older 30s. So it's 18 years old. I'm working, going to college online while working in a nursing home with dementia patients on top of that. And then coming back and then you telling me that we're adding my sister to the relationship. Well, of course, my mindset, I was like, what? No, what is this? And he started, he walked away and I followed him. I went in the house. And he always wanted to threaten me and stuff like that and act like he was going to put his hands on me because we could go ahead and right now. And so he walked away and I followed behind still screaming the same shit. Put your fucking hand on me, bro. Since you wanted to say it, put your fucking hand on me. He told me on the phone with my mother on the phone he was going to throw me in the van after putting this on me. And so I was like, okay, you want to do that with my mother on the phone? We could do this without my mother on the phone. And then I walked outside when Morgana, the girl that I said was like a sister, tried to get in the middle of it. Well, then I was just like, fuck it. I called my peoples that I knew I had met this dude off of Meet Me and shit like that because I would go live. And I called him because we had been talking, we were friends, shit like that. I called him, I was like, hey, how much would you charge me? How much would you need to come get me? And that was a 6-hour drive. And he said $100. I said, oh yeah, bet. I said, okay. 30 minutes passed. I called him back. I said, I got the 100, come on. He came and got me. We came back. I was in Moxville for a month. Well, a month passed, and when we got there, he had a whole ass wife. Like, he had just, we done our shit, done whatever the fuck we wanted to do. And then on the way back from Virginia to North Carolina, because we had stopped for a night to take a break. So from Virginia to North Carolina, he's telling me he has a wife we're about to go back to the house to. And I'm just like, oh, yeah, you're fucked up for that shit. And so a month passed, I was staying there, and he just changed and told me.
Him and his wife?
Yeah, I was staying with him and his wife. They had separated at one point. Well, since I found out it was him and his wife, I was like, fuck this, I'm gonna find somebody. So I went on Facebook dating, to be honest, to find friends, shit like that, because I'm new. And, well, I found a homeboy. Well, I found this dude. He's a white dude, and I'm not usually attracted to white dudes anymore. But I found a white dude, and he was really respectful, really all that. Well, then Gabriel and his wife separated. And of course, since I knew Gabriel first and I had those feelings for Gabriel, I went to Gabriel. I was like, Chandler, I have feelings for you, yes, but I've had feelings for bro. My plan was to be with bro. That's why I came here. And so they separated, and then me and Chandler just were friends. Well, then tell me how I introduced Chandler to him and her. Then after me and him got together, me and Gabriel got together, since they separated, the wife went to my best friend Chandler, the dude I've introduced to them. I'm like, this is on some weird shit. Take me out.
Not to switch gears. When I asked you that question, I was asking your journey.
Yeah, I'm getting
addiction.
Addiction?
Yeah, I was asking how did you get out here on the street struggling with addiction? How did you get to this point? I know the question.
My mom. So that's the thing. See, my mom used, when she was pregnant with me, she used meth. Like, my drug of choice is ice. Like, I'm not ashamed of that. I know a lot of people, like, at first I was ashamed to even talk about it because I didn't want people finding out, especially my family. But my drug of choice is ice, and that's because of the fact that, yeah, like, I do ice. I mean, I smoke here and there. We're not going to mention the one thing because some people, but I smoke ice here and there because it helps my ADHD.
Oh, hold on, you just lost me. So you're not going to mention what?
The other addiction.
The heart?
Yeah.
Because why not?
Because somebody that I made a promise to, and I totally forgot about that promise and broke it, and they want to pass now because of that. So we're not going to talk about that because I definitely fucked up with that. But I mean, it's not yes, it's an addiction. I will admit that, but I can control it too. Like, if I wanted to, I could completely drop it all and smoke weed and just stay with weed. And I do here and there. Like, I haven't touched ice. Here and there I'll smoke, like you see. But I haven't touched things like that. I don't constantly use for that reason.
So how did you end up experimenting or trying all the ice for the first time?
So what had got me started on ice was I was around people that did ice in Ohio. And I smoked. Well, I think I had OD'd on fentanyl, but I don't know exactly what the fuck happened. All I remember is I had went out. And so after that, I said, no more touching this shit. I stopped. Came to North Carolina. My homeboy gave me an Adderall. I got Adderall, took that Adderall. As soon as I took that Adderall, 30 minutes passed, and I'm like, Chandler, give me another Adderall. He was like, no, I'm not giving you another one. I said, okay, I'll go get some meth. I wasn't playing. I really looked at him, and I said, okay, I'll just go find some meth. Because Adderall, the meth acts as Adderall to me. I'm ADHD, so it calms me down and calms my thoughts. And I still eat on it. I still sleep on it. No, ice, meth. Oh. I still eat and sleep on that shit. It just acts as Adderall to me.
What the fuck is Adderall?
Adderall?
I mean, I know it's a drug.
It's meth.
It's a pill. Like...
Adderall is meth.
Oh, that's what it is?
Basically. Just extra.
I thought Adderall was a prescription drug.
Yes, it is. But it's basically meth. It just has extra ingredients so that it's not exactly meth.
Oh, okay.
That is why it acted. That's why as soon as I took that Adderall, 30 minutes later, I wanted another one, and then he wanted to give me another one, so I said, okay, I'm going to go get some meth.
Because the same shit.
Because it's the same shit. Exactly the same shit.
Damn, I be hearing people talk about Adderall all the time, but I be like, what the fuck is Adderall? I thought it was just something like a prescription drug to keep people up.
It's ADHD, kind of, for the most part, ADHD pill.
So the same ingredients that's in Adderall is in meth, but just one extra ingredient in Adderall, so
that's what makes it classified as that's what makes it classified as a drug prescription, is because, and people gotta realize anyway, how meth was made, where meth started, where meth came from. Meth came from for the army, for the military. and shit like that. Like dead ass. They made
Why you
meth. The originality of meth is because they made it for the military to keep them up. To keep them up. But then when they sent them back home, they started withdrawing and going crazy without it. So therefore, that's when it became illegal. That's when they stopped using it for it. But it originally came from them making it for the military to keep them up so that they could fight the wars and make sure that no danger came in.
With the meth and a hard addiction.
Not necessarily a hard addiction.
I'm just saying.
I just do that.
I'm just saying. What,
I do it
it's
because
like
I get
everybody
bored.
I talk to, don't nobody want to say they got addiction.
I just said I have a meth addiction.
Okay, we're just talking about. Okay, with meth addiction and a recreational use of hard. What's the lowest point that you feel you went due to the use of those two things?
I think my lowest point where I've got is when I was thinking I was king of these streets, I guess.
Huh?
When I stayed over here the first time in May last year.
And you thought what?
I guess I thought I was the king of these streets, drunk on Four Loko, like 12 lines in on cocaine. I thought I was king of the streets, and I slashed some tires and did some fuck shit. It was.
Right.
That's
pretty low.
I got jumped, but that's when I was low. I've got to the point that I've let the drugs do me. I'll admit I've let the drugs do me before. Yes, I've seen change in myself because I've let the drugs do me. But recently, I don't let the drugs do me anymore because of the fact that I can't.
Let me ask you something. How do you support your habits?
How do I support my habits? I mean, most of the time my shit's free. Not being funny, but most of the time I get what I get for free because it's who I'm hanging around, they do it and they just let me smoke with them. But I also don't just take advantage of that. Like, I don't take advantage of them. I don't just go to them for that. You feel me? I have people out here that will look out for my habit. If I need it, they'll look out. But I don't need it. I could go without it.
So have you ever made plays to get money to get that?
No. Fuck no.
Oh.
That's one thing. When I was escort, I used to escort. I don't escort anymore. But when I used to escort, I would not. No.
So you didn't take the money?
I wouldn't even I would rarely do trades for that.
Right.
Like, I would tell them if I did do that, if I did take drugs from it, you have to at least have some money added to that. And it has to add up to when I was escorting, I had to add up to my price of my time.
Right.
Again, like, I don't mess around with people anymore. Like, especially now, I distance myself from a lot of people.
You got any kids?
I've had a lot of niggas. And I don't got no actual kids, no.
You still got relationship with your family?
I've never really had a relationship with my family really like that. And especially since my grandmother passed, I don't really talk to
That was
my
the last
family.
one that you was tight, you was close to?
My grandma, yeah,
Grandma?
that was my best friend. I took care of her for 2 years at 10 through 12, or 8 through 10 while being raped by my cousin, by myself, her and her mom. So it's like when my great grandma passed, I took care of my grandma still. So it's like I've always had that bond, and she's always been like my mom, for real. She took care of me, she raised me, and it's coincidental how she died when I was 20 years old on Memorial Day, 6 days after my 20th birthday.
So she just died recently?
She died last year, 6 days after my 20th birthday.
That's sad.
On Memorial Day. That's the crazy shit.
Damn.
And I had already, see, this is the shit that's even more crazy, is because I had talked to her St. Patrick's Day. That's the last time I had talked to her, and she passed on Memorial. I talked to her on St. Patrick's Day because I got a feeling that was the last 10. Yeah, I got a feeling in my gut that day, that St. Patrick's Day, that was the last time I would talk to her. And when I called her, right before I got off the phone, I said, Grammy, I'm going to get off the phone. I said, I promise I'll come see you soon, da-da-da-da. She told me, she literally said to me on the phone, Haley, this is the last time. And that's when I knew. I started breaking down. And that was literally the last time I talked to her. And that shit's crazy because she warned me. She told me.
This was the last time.
She let me know, like, hey, you're not going to talk to me no more. I'm going to be gone. And that shit breaks me to this day even talking about, because it's like, fuck, man. That was my best friend. Best friend.
So you never made it to go see her?
I went and seen her when she passed.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I never got to see her before that. Like, I had to, it's kind of hard when you got court in North Carolina and you don't want to miss court because you already have a non-extradited warrant in Ohio for something because you came to North Carolina and nobody told you about court. You don't want to get another extra warrant. It's hard. It's a struggle, and my mom definitely doesn't help anything, especially when she puts out these missing persons reports, man. She just had one out and the cops were looking for me. It didn't help she mentioned one of these dudes in the streets, their real name to the cops, and that shit was on the missing persons report. That shit had me fucked up. I told my mom, I called her, I said, Mom, not being like that, but I need you to stop worrying about me as much and worry about yourself a little bit more. I said, if anything, you're not helping me out and you're putting me in more. Her response to that was, oh, well, I'm trying to get you home. By putting me in more, you're not going to get me home that way.
Right.
You're not going to get me home unless you actually show you care, and you haven't.
Right.
You're just now showing you care, and you think you're showing you care by putting in missing persons reports because you haven't talked to me, but you're not. That's not showing me you care, because where were you when I was younger and not of age? I'm 20 years old now, almost 21 years old. You weren't. Yes, I understand that, but she wasn't there when I needed her.
No, I get that. I get all that. But you're still young. I want to know something. It's like your grandma was it for you. Did your grandma know you had addiction?
No, I didn't start till. She still didn't know either way. She had dementia when I started my addiction.
Right. I was about to say.
And ever since like the more trauma in North Carolina and the shit that's happened around me, and since my grandma passed, my addiction, yes, I don't use it to numb, but yes, sometimes I do.
Right. A lot of people tell me, they say they use it to escape from.
I just do it because I'm bored and I don't have weed to get high off of. Honestly, typically, I'm bored.
When they don't have to deal with the reality, can't run. If I run from it forever, but
oh, definitely no. You definitely can't run from it, and that's why I get so emotional and so irritated and so like show all my emotions, because of the fact that I have so much held in, and it's like I try to let that shit go, and nobody ever, like, that's the thing. Nobody knows how to listen to you. They feel like you're just trying to get them to feel sorry for you.
Have you ever, maybe the people that you listen to in the wrong environment, you ever thought about getting some professional counseling?
Oh, yes. No,
rehab,
listen, everybody's asked me, have you thought about going for rehab?
You can't go to a motherfucking crack house or a meth house.
They don't
have that smoking and getting high. I think they're going to really.
You think that they actually, you think that them therapists actually
Some
give,
of them.
Okay, yes, they give a fuck somewhat, but you think that they actually fully give a fuck?
Some
You
of them
also
do.
gotta think, you sitting there talking to them about the shit you're going through, sometimes they take that shit home and
What?
they think,
This man right here, that's counseling.
counseling.
And they go, hold on, that's counseling. And this right here, Katie.
Oh, really?
Hey, who was that right there in the car? Yeah, I had to straighten Katie out. Katie works, man. But anyway,
That little Katie over there.
nah, she ain't no motherfucking Katie.
Oh, you fucked
Don't
up.
listen.
You fucked up.
You young. I don't want you to end up like a Katie.
No,
You just a baby. You still got your whole life ahead of you. You got so much potential. You smart. You articulate. You've been through enough shit. At 20 years old, you've been through more shit than some 50-year-old women have that wasn't raised on the streets. That ain't been through shit. So I feel like that made you a lot stronger. Whenever you decide to do switch it up, start doing the right thing, change your life, get off whatever. Stop looking for love in the streets. Stop looking for love in the wrong places. I think when you do that, you're gonna be a powerful force in the community.
I already still have my goals and my dreams and my passions. Like, I've had my.
What did you want to be growing up?
So when I was younger, I wanted to be a veterinarian because I love animals.
All females want to be a veterinarian.
But that's not what I want to be. My dream actually now, because of the fact that I grew up in foster care and shit, my dream is to foster teenagers, specifically teenagers. I don't want toddlers. I don't want babies. I don't want kids. I want specifically teenagers, because of the fact that when I grew up in foster care, I experienced it. Most of these teenagers that they call troubled teenagers or criminal teenagers, they're not troubled teenagers. They're only troubled because of the fact that they don't feel loved. That's why they act out, end up in jail, residential, shit like that, because they don't feel like they actually are cared about. Because they're treated, let's say the foster parents have regular their kids, like the kids but then they have the foster kids sometimes those kids get treated, the kids get treated better than the teenage kids, and they don't get the same treatment, shit like that. And so hopefully with that, I also want to open an advocacy center for teens, because of the fact that hopefully I can make some change with how they feel and how they react and shit like that. And hopefully I could make change to where there's not so many teens locked up, or any teens at all locked up in residentials, group homes, because that's not what I want to see.
Right, I get it.
I don't want to see that, and I felt that.
I do get that, and not only, hey, you know what? You can help them young people right now today. And I say that because before I end interviews, I always ask the person I'm talking to give you some advice. So just in case there's a young man, a young female, an adolescent, some youth, or somebody watching this video that's thinking about choosing the meth lifestyle, not just the meth, the crack, the fentanyl, any drug, any lifestyle that's in the streets, what would you say to stop that youth from doing it right now?
It's definitely not worth it. It's definitely not worth it. In the end of it all, especially when you have to pay for it. Like I said, yeah, most of my shit's free, but sometimes I have to pay. But especially when you're living in the streets, it's not worth it, because that takes a lot of your money. That takes a lot of your time. On top of that, sometimes once you start that addiction, you could stay there for a while that you're not addicted or that you can control it. But then after a while of starting to use it, you can't control it.